Okay guys, it's Saturday and I'm going to work on this buggy here today. First thing I'm going to do is take the motor out of the quad. This here is a Raptor. It's a 660 Yamaha. I think it's about a 2020. It's a good running machine. Has a few issues. The rear brake has an issue there. I'm not sure why the caliper's off. It's got a few other things. The front A-arm has seen a rock or something. Got a little bend in it. So it's a good running machine. I think it's a perfect candidate for the buggy. It's got water-cooled engine, electric start, and reverse. It's a Raptor 660R. So pop that motor out, and it's a chain drive. Chain drive is perfect for this system. So it's going to live back here somewhere. Now this was set up with a jack shaft that went through right here underneath the seat last time we ran it. Well, it's going to be set up different. So I'm going to pop this bar out and possibly that one. That was the back of the seat. Drop the seat down lower. And then that shows you that the engine, front of the engine is going to be right in here somewhere. So rear axle will be behind the frame, it looks like. So that's okay. So I'm going to get that up on the table where we can work on it and then start tearing this apart. So that's what this video is going to be, is setting the motor in place, maybe not hooking it up, and then showing you all the components for the rear drive. I got some Mazda Miata axles, and I got some Mini Cooper hubs. Anyway, I'll show you how all that's going to come together. All right, I got my musty, trusty welding gloves on, ready to do this thing. This is my personal gym. This is where I get a workout. Okay, I think I'll turn it around and set the back up on there. You know what? That's a good position right there to cut this bar out. And maybe take this off. I think maybe I'll just leave it there. And I'll just start chopping on it right there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This mount here was the bearing holder for the first motor I put in here. When I first built this, when I was a senior in high school, I had a Honda 350 street bike engine back here. And off the rear sprocket, I made an extension and put a bearing right here. And then there was a sprocket here that went forward to a jack shaft. So that's how it originally was set up. So I won't be using this. It was a 1-inch shaft on this end and then a bigger one on that end with a sprocket welded to it. So cut that off. I thought that might happen. I cut the pipe, and then with the force of the weld on the opposite end, brought the pipe down and pinched my blade. That's okay. We'll get it out. Come on, babe. Get out of there. Come on. Get. Come on. There we go. Got it. Got it. There we go. Okay, I got that off of there. This is part of the original tubing that I used. Kind of interested to see what I use. I think it's 1 1/4 065, but it might be 083, maybe not. Okay, let's check it out. So okay, we got 1.225, so that's 1 1/4. And let's check the thicknesses here. And on the thickness, we got 065. So this is made out of 1 1/4 round 065. So that's all that was made out of. Now there's a couple other pieces that I added later, like water pipe and other things. I'm not sure what they are, but the base of the frame is 1 1/4 065. And that's a good size for a one-person buggy with like a motorcycle motor or a Predator motor or something. Okay, got that out of the way, got that bracket out of the way. I think I'll clean this up, and I think that's good enough for now. I don't like these, so I'm going to clean them up. They're kind of a sharp, unfinished. So I'm going to round those off too. All right, I think that's good enough for now. It'll give us a surface to work off of, something you can mark with a felt pen and maybe weld on. I'll show you what I've done, okay? Okay, so we cut this crossbar that used to hold the seat from there over to here. And I softened it up so that when I'm working I won't get cut on it. Some of these things I'll leave, okay? Here's where that one bearing support bracket was. And I'll show you, also cut this. This here used to go off at an angle. Okay, on the original build, this bar went all the way across. That was behind the seat. And then this piece went at an angle, made a little triangle, and that was a shock mount. And it was the same here. This came off at an angle, hit this bar, and then the shock mounted there. So that was original. I'll show you some other stuff that's kind of neat. This here is the original handlebar and clutch lever off the original motorcycle. It was like a 72 Honda, either a SL or a CB 350. So that's the original grip, the Honda grip. And I made it into a shift lever, shift the transmission. And then when I had a jack shaft mounted in here, I made this. You always have to have some bed frame. This is an old bed frame. Now bed frame material is cheap and easy to get. People throw it out. But the metal is really hard. It's hard to cut, hard to drill. And also when I made this, I didn't have the equipment. So it looks like I cut it with a cutting torch. But it's got a chain tensioner right here. That moved and that's really important. If you don't want your chains falling off, you need to put chain tensioners on things. So anyway, that's some good old bed rail. Good old Custer bed rail. And I think I already showed you the steering box, which is an old drill. It's pretty unique. It was kind of weak, but it did the job. It helped me to get the steering around the motor, because I had a motor up here. Now here's another bracket. This was the original, we had a disc brake right here, and this was an arm that held the caliper. It had the original disc brake from the motorcycle. So some of this stuff, if it's not in the way, I'll just leave it on here because it's part of the history of this machine, see? And this thing represents some of my work over 40 years of time. I worked on it. I built the original one when I was like 17, 18. And then when I was about 25, I modified it with the motor up front. And now when I am 59, I'm modifying it again. So I'll leave some of this stuff on here just because it has history to it. Now this thing here I'll take out. Here's a motor mount. That's where your legs are going to go through. And I'll take that whole bar out. That looks like a water pipe. I know that's a water pipe. Yeah, so that'll come out. So, and I'll leave little things like this little bracket here. That was the exhaust bracket. I might leave it. Who knows? Then here's the original panel. I worked at Earl's Auto Body in Linden, right out of high school, and once I got working there a while, he let me use the shop after hours, and I did the final paint and body work on it at Earl's shop. So here's a piece of the original body panel I had. SJR, that's my initials, and then 350, that was the size of the motor. And I remember this sheet metal. We did a panel van, like a bread van or something. We replaced some panels on it, and I remember that piece. Yeah, when I worked for Earl, I finished it off, I painted it. I put side panels on it. I had a hood at one time. And the hood, I made it out of a car hood. Trimmed it down to fit. So, a lot of history here. And this here, see the green paint coming through? This is a roof off a Jeep Wagoneer, an old Jeep Wagoneer that sat at my house when I was in high school. Sat behind the house. And I remember the Wagoneer had these ridges. It's actually not a bump, it's a dip. So I think I had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 on the roof. So that's off of like a, I don't know, late 60s, early 70s Jeep Wagoneer. So this door, I added it when I raced it at the Speedway. I did one race one night, and this is a door, and it had fishnet on it, had netting on it. And the latch is actually a seat belt. Anyway, that's a seat belt off of probably a Datsun. So yeah, so that was a netted door. And the other side had net on it too. That's what this wire was for. Hook the netting on. So if you rolled over or you got hit or something, your arm wouldn't hang out and get broken off. So, all right. I'm going to put this on the table and then attack that thing right there. That's what I'll do. All right, here we go. Here we go, my spa workout. Come on, buddy. Back. Uh-oh. Tipping point. Bring it out here, I guess. Put the brakes on. Oh, maybe I'll just do this. Oh, it's rolling around. All right, let's get it. That ain't gonna work. How about this chunk of steel? Found it. Okay, I got some of the stuff unhooked. Before I take the rest of the stuff off and the engine mounts, I want to check the level of the carburetors and then record that. And that way when I go to set the motor back in the new frame, I know where it's set. So I calibrated my digital thing, whatever it's called, digital angle gauge it says. Let's set it on there. Let's see what we got. It's probably not flat. What do we got here? Can you even read that? Oh yeah, you can read that, barely. Okay, so level is right there, kinda. And it's the front is down about 8.5 degrees. Let's check it from this other side. That'll tell you how good I got it calibrated. What I got here. Oh, let's do the same one. Huh. Not quite 8. So I would say that these carburetors should sit with the front down about 8 degrees. So can you read that? It's hard to read that, isn't it? There we go. Oh, you can read that now. Yeah. So the front should be down about 8. Well, why can't you read that? Anyway, so I'm going to record that. Actually, I'll write it on top of that. And then when I go to set the motor in the frame, since it's such a weird shape, it's kind of hard to tell what's flat, where it should be sitting flat. So I'll go grab a pin. I'll update you on the fire situation. Right now it's about 50 degrees. Came in this morning, it was about 42. So I think I'll try the silver pin. It's a good one. So I'm going to do this. The front down 8 degrees. Okay, well, you remember that? Okay, that's what we're going to go by. Okay. And I didn't realize it. I've never really looked at this quad much, or the motor. It has it's water cooled with a radiator up front. It also has some fins, short fins, but it also has oil. That's an oil container there, and it goes in the bottom and on the top. So I don't know what that means, but I'll just hook it up again in the bike. I mean, in the buggy that same way. I've never played with a motor like this. Usually you check the oil on the case with a dipstick. So I'll have to research that, figure that out. But it's going to be a nice machine. Electric start, reverse, and water cooled. All things that are nice in a buggy. So I'll keep working on it and get the motor out. All right, so if you ever do that job, you need all of these wrenches, okay? All of those. Or you could just use the 17, 19, and the 22. Okay, well that drains. I think I'm gonna go in the house and have some lunch, kick back, and get rested up. today's Saturday, and right now it's about 12:30. And what I'd like to do today is get the motor out, get it sitting behind the buggy, kind of mock up where it's going to live, and then show you guys how I'm going to set up the rear drive spool with the CV axles. So that's the goal, and then I want to edit it tonight, and throughout the night tonight it'll be uploading. So that's the goal. So I'm gonna go take a break, and I'll be back. Okay. So you guys just stay here. All right. Oh, you want to go with me? Okay. I'll take you with me. Let me get my coat. All right. We had some good wind the other night. Things got blown around, and which is pretty common. But early this morning, I don't know, about 5 or so, I heard some noise outside. And that's common to hear a little noise once in a while, but I thought, okay, it's just the wind. But what it ended up being is my tow truck over here, my Explo-Tow, it ran the winch all by itself last night. So I'm not sure what happened. But when I came out, the front of the Jeep was off the ground, and the cable's all goofed up. So now when I run out, it goes in, and when I go in, it goes out. I mean, look what side the cable's on. It's supposed to be on the other side. So I decided to unplug it for now. So I'm not sure what happened. Maybe it got wet. Maybe, I don't know, sabotage. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat. See you guys in a bit. All right, here's a bumper I made for a Subaru. I think it's about a 98 Outback wagon. And I'm ready to ship it off to Alaska. And they want way too much for shipping. So I'm gonna cut it. Before I cut it though, I'm gonna weld on these tabs. I got these tabs that fit over the tube. I'm gonna go right there. And then this is the back side of the bumper. So I'll be able to ship it in a smaller box. So they want over $1,000 to ship this from Washington State to Fairbanks, Alaska. Well, that's a little too much. So the customer and I decided that we will cut this thing up. So if you live in Alaska and you don't want to spend $1,100 to ship your bumper, well, we'll chop her up and it'll only cost $400. So here's one that's been welded up. I still need to clean that up. And here's another one. So that's it. Okay. So seeing it from the front, just see a couple seams. Seeing it from this angle, just a couple seams. Okay, so this is what we got. Okay, I like that. I think that's probably about the best we can do under this situation. So I think that's a win. We will clean this thing up, package up all the parts, ship it off to its new home in Fairbanks, Alaska. Okay, fellows, here we are. It's a little smaller than it was. Okay, lunch is over. I got these wheels for sale. And it looks like a guy's coming out to pick them up, so I'm gonna go check to see if I actually have them. The ad's been in there for a while. Pretty sure they're here, but I don't want them to show up and they're not here. So let's see what I got. Is this them? Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. There they are. Does it look like the picture? Yep, looks like the picture. Oh, gotta clean them up. Make sure they're worth it. There we go. We're good now. All right, so. Okay, I'll get back to work. The guys showed up to buy the wheels. It was an ad for 2 wheels. They wanted 4, so they left unhappy. So, okay. I took a few things off. Oil's out of it now. Now let's get this swing arm bolt. Okay, here we go. Ah, tight one. There we go. The swing arm bolt goes through the motor. There's a motor mount in the back. The swing arm bolt goes right through it. It's a good design. Keeps the chain tight. Keeps the chain from falling off. It's a great design. Well, let's see what happens here. It might come out anyway. Okay, what side's narrower? It looks like... Okay, we're out of the mount. How about wires? Any wires? I think what I'm going to do... What do we got over here? We got a brake lever here, so I'm going to pull it out that way. You know, I'm not doing much grunting on this one. When I took the original motor out of that, I did some pretty good grunts, didn't I? Well, I'm looking at this. That one I didn't care about. This one I'm concentrating. I don't want to rip a wire out or a hose or... Yeah, so not a lot of grunting going on here. But I'll give you a couple good grunts. Just so you know, I got it in me. And it takes at least 2 grunts to get it out of there. All right, so any wires, hoses hooked up? All right, come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Oh, well, the carburetors are hitting the frame. Or what's that? Oh, that's okay. That's coming off with me. So looks like I got to twist it a bit. Twisting. No, something ain't right here. I'll go backwards to the bottom. There we go. Backwards to the bottom. Took the carburetors off, be easier. Okay, I think we're good. What's this wire? Okay, that's good. Okay, buddy, come on. Oh, there we go. Now we want to look at it, see if we're stretching any wires. I think we're good. That's good. We got one of those roundy round quads with the side mounted engine, you know, or the inside. All right, let's make some room over here. Then we can set it right there for now. Come on, engine. Come on. Come on, buddy. Here we go. Here we go. Go. Woo! Wow, I think that one was heavier than the one that came out of this. You know, with the amount of weight and power this thing has, this thing's just going to do wheelies. It'll just be a wheelie king. It won't turn because there's no weight on the front, but it'll do wheelies. There we go. Like that. I think the rest of this, I'm just going to leave for now, and we'll worry about the wiring and other parts another day. All right. I like that. I like seeing that out. That's good. You know, it's been years. Yeah, years since I pulled a motor from a motorcycle or a 3-wheeler or a quad. I put together a quad, what is it, TRX 200, I don't know, 10 years ago. That's probably the last time I had one out of the frame. I'm wrong. I kind of pieced together a Honda 90, 110, 125 three-wheeler. About 10 years ago also, I think. Anyway, somewhere back there. But I used to do this all the time. When I was a kid in high school till when I was about mid-30s, I did this all the time. Quads. Well, quads were new. Three-wheelers, motorcycles, all that stuff, lawnmowers. All right, enough talking. Bye-bye, quad. Goodbye, quaddy quad. Hello, buggy bug. Think we got a motor. Bye-bye, quad. Yeah. Now, what I like to do is set the motor right there, but the table's not long enough. Now, I think I'll pass on the theatrical grunts, okay? So, nothing you hear is nothing you hear will be fake, okay? It's just my natural way of doing stuff. So, here we go. Ah! Oh! Ah! Uh-oh, we're leaking oil. I don't like that. We're leaking oil. What are we doing here? We're stuck on something. Where's the oil coming from? Probably where I took that pipe off on the bottom. I think the motor's backwards. Yeah, maybe I should run it that way. I mean, it has reverse. So I'd have one forward gear, 5 or 6 in the reverse. I think I'll reconsider this. I think we should put it in the other way. I'd much rather have 1 reverse than 6 forwards, or 5. I'm not sure how many there is in this motor. Looks like this bar is kind of in the way. Also, we need the exhaust, don't we? Because the exhaust sticks way out. How about the carburetors? They look like they need to lean back, don't they? So I need a 2x4 up front. Yeah, this is kind of in the way. Who designed this thing anyway? Who built this thing? Looks like some 17-year-old kid built this in high school. I mean, look, they put the bar right in the way. So I'm glad I didn't take this one out. I'll probably leave that and take this out. So, we'll see though. See if I can go forward further. This was tricky to get out because they're both at an angle. See those angles there? See that? Whoop. So to get it out, you have to loosen this one and kind of push it. I personally think the engineers should have made them both straight in. I know it probably wouldn't be as efficient, but I think that would have been, that was my thought when I was doing it. So, right in there somewhere. So we need the back of a seat. Maybe this could be the seat for now. So there's the back of the seat. And yeah, this needs to roll up because remember we had, what was it, 8% or something? Yeah, 8 degrees. 8 degrees. That looks like more than 8 degrees. And also I got this up on a 2x4. So this represents the back of the seat. And then this thing needs to roll up a little further because I know that's too far because that thing there was a little angled. So this tells me, this is teaching me that this bar's got to go. So probably just cut it even with that. Because right now the engine's lower than I want it to be. I got what? 1.5 inches there, 2 inches. So So the next step on the frame mod is to cut that. And then here's the original motor mount for the top. That's on right in there. Maybe we could make a couple flanges come off that. That'd be nice. Okay. So for today, we're just doing some mock-up. So I'm going to leave that like that. Now I'm going to get my axle pieces and show you those axle pieces. But my table's too short. So I'll find some table extendo pieces. Okay, let's look at what we got here. We got the quad motor, chain drive with reverse. Okay. Here's the parts we're going to use on it. We got Mazda Miata axles. These are from the early Miata. I don't know if there's a difference on the newer ones. So, two Mazda Miata axles. We got, this is from, I think it's Mini Cooper. Mini Cooper front, for a front wheel drive Mini Cooper. It's a housed bearing, really nice, splined with a hub. And they fit on the Mazda Miata axles. Now, they're shorter, see this? See that little gap there? So I'll be making a little piece of pipe that takes up the slack. Okay? So we got Mazda Miata axles, Mini Cooper hubs, Cooper Morris hubs, then we got the wheel, golf cart wheel, 4x4, 8 bolt. What am I saying? 4x4 hub, 8-inch wheel. So this side here will line up with the sprocket, chain. Why don't I go get the chain and a sprocket? Okay. Okay, sprocket goes there. Okay, so let's see how this is going to work here. That's a nice chain. It's a nice O-ring chain. I think it's still in good shape. It's still kind of stiff, so that means it's not too wore out. Either that or it's totally rusted. So, the sprocket didn't line up. Okay, that's better. So, chain's too long. Imagine that, huh? Okay, we want this as close to the motor as we could get and still have room for the bearing housing and the disc brake. So somewhere in there, maybe not. Okay, so we got that. Disc brake, bearings, house bearings, adjustable bearings like that. Okay, let's put this Mazda Miata axle in there. Uh-oh! Fell off the wheel. Don't want that. Go around the corner of the wheel fall off. Okay, let's fix it. Fixing. Okay, got it fixed. Okay, that's good there. And then this be like that with a disc. You want to see a disc? Okay, we'll go get a disc while I'm at it. And there's a can of oil on the ground there. Just know if I kick it, it'll be a big mess. Okay, so yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to move this can of oil. Ah! Okay, it's way over here now. Now I can kick it in the dark. Okay, and then also, this is a flange, 4-bolt flange there. Cut these on the plasma cutter. So what I'm going to do there is hook that onto something like that. Maybe a pipe, maybe not. Haven't decided. Uh-oh, brake fell apart. So we have that there, that there. Gotta fix my brakes. I want to be able to stop. There we go. So that's the general idea. Then have double-ended hind joint bars. One there. One there. Above each other. And then there'll be a trailing arm. So this pipe, or whatever I put there, it might be a boxed in piece. There'll be a brace that goes from here to there. Okay, I better go get that. So we could mock that up too. Alright. Where's that bar? How you see it? Can you see anything here? It'd be better if this was down a little lower. There you go. Now we're talking. All right, what am I doing over here? That's right, I'm looking for a trailing arm. Ah. Okay, here's the trailing arm. This is actually, I'm not sure what this is. Could be off a barbecue or something. So anyway, this will come off here, right in here somewhere. Go up to a joint up front there. So yep. Okay, use your imagination. Housing, okay, we got the bearing, house bearing on the on the hub. We got this chunk welded onto this plate. We got this arm hooked to there. Also on here, there's two spots to hook these. Okay, actually it won't be these. I'm gonna be ordering some other heim joints. And these will be, the bottom one will be longer than the top. The top one will be a little shorter, about 80% of the bottom. Okay, so we got double arms in the back, and a trailing arm with a bigger heim joint, ball joint up front there. So that's how this is going to work. And then off of this mount will be a shock mount. So it looks like the frame needs to go back to here and hook into here maybe. That's what it looks like. So, okay, let's show you what we got going here. Probably can't tell, but I'm excited. I'm excited about this project. This buggy, I've had it, well, I'd just say my whole life because I built it when I was 17. So, and this is going to be a great power plant, and this is going to be a nice setup. These axles will hold all these are car parts, so we're good. So we got Mini, is it Mini Cooper? Or is it Cooper Morris? Huh. Yeah, one of the two. So we got that. Miata axles. A unit here with bearings. And then the same thing over here. And then I want to have a bolt up to a 4-on-4 and be able to utilize the 8-inch. If I make it fit an 8-inch, then it'll also fit a 10 or whatever, 12 or whatever. So that is the plan. Now let's take some measurements, because on this particular buggy, I don't want it that wide. Now, in the future, when I make kind of a crosskart, it'll end up being this wide. But this one, we got what was it, 52 on the front end? I would like the back to be less than it is. Maybe, I don't know, 60. 60 at the most. So let's do some measurements here. Okay. Find a tape. Sure, I could find one of those. Now that you're on the stand again, I'm going to plug you in because I don't want to run out of battery here. Okay, it's battery in right now. Let's see what we got. And this is just rough measurements. Okay. So if things are laid out like that, from hub, outer hub to outer hub over here, back in there somewhere, would be about 57 or so. Okay. Rough measurements, that's 65 with 8-inch tires. Well, I'd like to also run some 12-inch tires. So if they were centered rim, or if even they're deeper, then this measurement would be, let's just say 7 inches. Okay, so we just added what, 6 inches. So let's add 6 to 65. So now we're up to 71 inches. We're up to 6 feet, which is okay for a car or whatever. But this one, I don't want it that wide. I want it to match the front. So yeah, 71 would be right in there. And I'd really like this to be more about 60. So I want it narrower than we are. So that means I'm going to shorten these axles. Okay. So to shorten these axles, I'm looking at the camera to see what I'm looking at here. So let's use this 71 number. And I want the end result, what did I say? Maybe 60. So I would need to reduce it by 11 inches. Half 11 is 5.5. So I need to take 5.5 inches out right there. So there to there. Okay, that's very doable. So chop, chop, hook them back together. So I think that's how this buggy's going to be. It's going to be a narrow track. Woo! I almost lost a foot. Did you see that brake disc? It almost cut my foot right off, but instead it rolled away. So anyway, I think that's where we're going to do this. And I've already figured out this thing. I'll share that with you on the next buggy video. I got to get some parts coming, and I got to get some heim joints coming. I'm going to go with half-inch heims, and then they're built to fit on a tube. So I think I'm going to go with 1 1/4, and this tube going forward might even be 1.5. But these, I think I'll go 1 1/4, 1 1/4. I could go 1 inch. I'm not sure yet. I'll decide that. But I've decided on half-inch heims. So I'm going to order up 8 half-inch heims, 4 on each side. And then those front ones, I'm going to find something off a car. I'll find out like a big ball joint up the front end of a car. I'll put one on each side up there. And then a shock. So we need to come out here with this. We need a shock mount right here. We need a mount for this stuff. So it looks like what we're going to do is figure out the width here on this. Run 2 tubes up, hit that bar, mount the motor on it, mount the spool on it. Then they'll come up here, hook into there. And then off that, shock mount, and a mount for these. These were off of a heavy-duty go-kart. I'll be using these for mock-up, but I won't be using these on the finished thing. See, it doesn't even want to be used. You want to go down there? There. Go down there with your buddy. See, they want to run away already. So, I feel good about this. It's exactly where I wanted to be today. Ready to do some design work, and yeah. So I'm gonna show you the rest of the buggy, because I think some of you haven't seen the front end. The last buggy video I did, I just tore it apart. And so if you didn't see how the front end on this yet, what am I saying? Oh, that was on the video that had the, whatever that thing is, mini bike. Okay, so I'm going to do a walk around and show you everything. Okay? If you got any questions on this, I'd love to talk about it. Just in the comments. Well, let's start a discussion on this drive system. Okay? So the one thing I'm going to do is, once I figure this out, I'm going to be selling these drive systems on my online store. A complete unit that you could buy and put in your buggy. So that's the plan. This front end came off a Korean quad. It's about 20 years old or so. It had a 160 four-stroke in it. So when it was in the quad, this is the quad frame, there and there. And it came together right here and here. So we cut it in half and added 12 inches. So this is 12 inches wider than the quad that it came off of. So that's how that works. And then eventually I'll be building a mount up here for the shocks. I want to wait on that until we get the weight of the whole machine, so I get them in the right spot. So that's a really quick and easy way to make a front end, is pick up a quad and utilize it. Now this one here has mechanical brakes, cable brakes on it, so I'll be setting those up. And the back will be hydraulic. So that's how I did the front. This steering is going to be changed out. It's going to be more traditional angle and go forward to a gearbox. It'll be a what do you call it? Golf cart gearbox. So here's a side shot of what it's going to look like. Should I take a picture? Here's a picture. All right, took a picture of that. And here's the rear setup thus far. Take a picture of that too. Oh, look at that. That time I took a picture without stopping the camera. Okay. I think I'll take another picture. There we go. And another picture. Now I've been putting off doing this for years. I've been wanting to get this buggy going again. And this is going to be a monster. Look how long that thing's going to be. I should measure the the wheelbase here. See what that's going to look like. Let's see, somewhere in here. Hey tire, don't turn. Don't turn on me, tire. Don't turn. What do we got here? About 81. Okay. So that's way longer than the Odyssey ever was. So then it'll have a different look because the bar will come off of here somewhere and go down. So yeah, I like it. I think I'll put the tire on this side and take a picture for the thumbnail. What do you think of that, huh? That way it'll draw you in. You're like, hey, I gotta look at that. So another picture right here, maybe. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna set you down.